Joining us here in the living room, Father David Aufiero and George Destu. Thank you so much for being with us, talking about a Eucharistic Rosary Procession in Northampton, Massachusetts. And it is a 14th annual, I understand, too.
Yes, 14th annual. And it's looking to be like the biggest one.
That's great, great. Tell us a little bit about the event.
This particular event, we're having Father Chris Alar come and give a talk on Divine Mercy, since that is the year of mercy. And the church, St. Elizabeth Ann Seton in Northampton, is a pilgrim site, which also has the Holy Doors.
Okay.
And so Father Chris is going to comment about the Holy Doors, why they're there, and the purpose. And he's going to also then speak on Divine Mercy.
Great, good, excellent.
Now, Father David, as a priest of the great Diocese of Springfield, first of all, I have to tell our viewers that you are often on Catholic TV in a very quiet way. Speaking of Divine Mercy, when we show the Divine Mercy Chapel being prayed at St. John's Seminary, it was recorded many years ago, and you were one of the servers. You're in an alb, and you're right there. So you're a familiar face to Catholic TV viewers.
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, very good. It was a very wonderful day, and happy to be on the show today.
Yeah. Great to have you with us. And so, being a priest of the Diocese of Springfield, can you tell us about the origins of this procession and why it's such an important thing for the faith of the people in the diocese?
I think the origins started in 2003 when I think that it happened when the war in Iraq was going on. There was many people. We also got inspiration to pray the Rosary every day. And George and a few other fellows from the parish of Sacred Heart in Northampton, they all gathered together and they prayed and were inspired to do this Rosary Procession. And the Rosary Procession was something that was inspired as an instrument of peace in the land. And then they were striving to promote peace in the land and peace for the families and the folks that were involved in the military services. And then from there, it grew on and on exponentially every year. Until last year, it was about 700 people. And this year, the projected goal is to have about 1,000. And it's very important because we also added to the Eucharistic procession, going through the streets with the monstrance, with the Eucharistic monstrance. And the faith of the people have just been really, really ignited and really inspired just to see the Eucharist being into the street and everything. And so it was wonderful. And people have gathered into the procession and came to the church from it.
That's going to be on June 12th, rain or shine.
June 12th, rain or shine. It'll start at 1 p.m.
What if it snows?
Same thing. That'll be a miracle. Starts at 1 p.m. and the talk will be from 1 to 2. From 2 to 4 will be the procession, and then afterwards there'll be a gathering where we have food and refreshment for people.
Great.
Speaking of miracles, I understand that there have been perhaps some miracles associated with the procession over the years?
Yes. One, when you were talking about a person crying, weeping, it was 2 years ago. The procession went through the city. About 3/4 of the way, there was a person standing on the corner, and as the procession went by, as the Eucharist went by, I noticed that he just gently bowed and gave honor to the Eucharist. And a woman stepped out and gave him a miraculous medal, and the tears just poured out from this guy for it looked like a flood. It was just the guy was just overwhelmed and moved.
Sure.
And it was a stranger on the street. No, we don't know who he was or what, but somehow that really touched his heart. And last year we had a woman who was standing on the corner, and she came to us afterwards and she told us that she was moved to come and follow the procession, follow it to where it came from. And then she said to us, she says, I need to find where the tabernacle is. So we told her where it was, and then she proceeded to say that I need to pray for my mother, and I have not been to church in many, many, many years. Wow. And then a few months later, I found out that she became a member of the parish.
Wow, that's great.
And who knows how many other, things that we don't know. But we see people making the sign of the cross. We see people kneeling down. We see people looking like, what is that? So you get a lot of different expressions.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's very peaceful, and it's very positive.
Yeah, yeah.
We have an added element too this year for it being particularly for the Year of Mercy as well. See, during the Year of Mercy, Pope Francis has designated many doors throughout dioceses to be a specific holy door of mercy. And throughout the Diocese of Springfield, we have, I think it's about 7 churches that have a specific holy door of mercy. And where Father Chris Alar is coming from, he's from Divine Mercy Shrine. That's the mother church of all the Divine Mercy doors. And at St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Parish, we were one of the doors that was designated as a holy door of mercy. And so this procession, this Eucharistic procession, people are going to go out from the church. They're going to hear this great talk from Father Chris Alar. They're going to go out into the middle of the street. They're going to pray behind the Eucharist, pray the Rosary, pray with Mary, carry their cross, and have the Divine Mercy image. And then after this whole procession, about 1.7 miles, they'll go back through the doors, through the Holy Door of Mercy, and they'll be able to receive a plenary indulgence, have all kinds of mercy poured out upon them. And the plenary indulgence being praying for the Pope's intentions, entering through the Holy Door, receiving the Eucharist, going to confession, and having detachment from sin. And so it's a wonderful day, and we'll have Divine Mercy Chaplet prayed in the Holy Church for a period of Eucharistic adoration and silence, and then also have confessions available, which is something new and something different that we're adding this year through the Holy Year, Jubilee Year of Mercy.
Yeah,
So
I got to tell you, you know, and I'm sure you agree with me, you know, as a priest, that to see this kind of public display of people's faith, it really does something for you, and it's a real encouragement to all of us, but I think to us who are priests, because you know, we spend our lives trying to encourage people in their faith, and this is a chance for them almost to encourage us.
Absolutely, and you see the faith of the people. This Eucharistic procession, it's just such a direct and a very visible way for the people to go out into the street and to share their faith, just by making, like George was saying, a peaceful demonstration of their faith in the middle of the street. And the people really are encouraged by that as well, because there's strength in numbers. It went from 100 to 450 to 500 to 700 last year. God willing, 1,000 this year. That'd be really great. But to seeing the strength in numbers and then inspire people and keep that faith alive and make it even stronger and stronger each and every year.
We were talking earlier about some of our memories with processions too. George, do you remember any processions growing up as a kid, and did that help in your organizing of this?
Well, I think that what Father had mentioned earlier, I remember making my first communion, and it was the very same thing. We crowned our Blessed Mother, and there were prayers that were said. And even in the month of May, being in school, because I went to a Catholic school, the month of May was, you made a shrine,
yeah.
You know, something that you could bring into the school, and you know, you just put that emphasis on how to make it the best. You know, it was always because it was our Blessed Mother, and so you did the best you could to make it right. You know, and I think that that's something that we had, but I see that it's been lost through time. And so the emphasis of this procession is to try to bring back to the people this importance of our Blessed Mother, where she plays a role in the world today and in our country.
Sunday, June 12th, 1 to 4, rain, shine, snow, doesn't make any difference. Eucharistic Procession Northampton.com is the website. What can people find there?
They're going to find the home. They're going to find information about the day. They're going to find what it's about, the history of the event. They're going to find a blog of some of the miracles that George was talking about. They'll find photos from previous years, and then contacts of who to contact for more information, and a visitor's blog where you can just sign and talk about the website and talk about the you know, everything else that's on there.
Perfect. Thank you, Father David. George, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having us.
It was our pleasure to be here. Thank you.